Professional wrestling is the one true sport. Other sports have their share of intense, dramatic moments, but nothing can compare with professional wrestling. Welcome to Wrestling History X, where three friends come together to talk about the stories behind the matches. I'm Matt.
And I'm 10 pounds of monkey crap in a 5-pound bag.
And Shane couldn't make it tonight.
He's MIA. He's here in our hearts. You know the deal.
You know, there's weather going on this week. And
Yeah.
he wanted to be more safe than sorry, so...
He's had some vehicle trauma in the last
few months.
So I understand his trepidation.
So hopefully he'll be back soon. But welcome to episode 348, Halftime Heat.
1999.
The thing that happened between the big game.
Yep, one of the things that happened between the big game. There's the Puppy Bowl. There's the actual official halftime show, which do you know what it was?
I mentioned it last week. I think it was Phil Collins.
Oh, what I have is Cher and Stevie Wonder, but that might be...
Or maybe that's actually probably what it is.
That might be because the Super Bowl's the year in, well, probably fucking March now, but like it was in January back, the end of January back in 99. But I could have it, like, is the 1999 Super Bowl, is it still called the 99 Super Bowl even if it's for the 98 season?
Yes.
Okay, I was just making sure. That's what I thought.
It's Super Bowl 33
Yeah,
is what it was. No, you are right. It was Gloria Estefan, Stevie Wonder, Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, and Savion Glover.
Did you say Cher?
No, you said Cher. I said Phil Collins.
Why did I write Cher down?
I don't know. Clue.
But Stevie Wonder and Gloria Estefan, that's cool. I don't care about Big Bad Voodoo Daddy.
Cher was... No, I thought that was Cher. No.
Maybe she was did a part of a song. I don't know. But it's crazy. That's a lot of people. I guess they've done that before.
Cher was not in the 90s. Neither was Phil Collins, so I have no clue what either one of us were thinking.
I mean, it could have been like for Tarzan or something, but yeah. Stevie Wonder, that's a good halftime.
I mean, that's what I was... I know that's what I was thinking when I said Phil Collins last week.
Mm-hmm.
Was
the animated Tarzan soundtrack.
Yeah.
But...
Maybe that's 2000.
Yep, I'm pretty sure that I went into a different...
2000 is Phil Collins.
Yeah. Pretty sure I went into the other room to watch this on TV, because I'm sure the adults I was with probably did not have much interest.
Did not care.
No.
They were watching... Who were we watching in Super Bowl 30? Oh, the Broncos and the Falcons. I mean, I probably watched I'm pretty sure I watched the game, because I usually watched the Super Bowl back then, because... hang out with a bunch of people and
back
watch
when
the
the commercials meant something.
Exactly. They didn't get released 3 weeks before.
And they weren't all filled with, like, like movie stars.
Yeah. But this is the first halftime heat produced by WWF. It took place on January 26th, but aired on January 31st, 1999, from the Tucson Convention Center in Tucson, Arizona, with an attendance of 0 people and a TV rating of 5.0.
Pretty good for being on a different channel in between the Super Bowl.
Yep. So you can, I mentioned this last week, you can find this match on the January 31st episode of Heat. But we're just covering the match, not the entire episode.
It was recorded on January 26th.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like,
I assume this was recorded before Heat.
They filmed it in the afternoon before they recorded the next night's Raw, basically on a Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But we are in Tucson, Arizona, and even though Shane's not here, we're looking longingly at his chair right now.
Yeah.
When Shane's away, Matt gets to play with the culinary fun.
Culinary trip around the world.
Exactly. And
mostly the United States.
Yeah, mostly.
The lower 48.
And started looking around, and I found that the official state drink of Arizona is lemonade.
Makes sense. It's a desert. I bet lemonade is the official state drink of a couple places.
Actually, milk is for most places.
Weird.
Yeah. Not every state has an official state drink either.
For lemonade, I was just thinking like southern states like Georgia.
I think this may be the only lemonade.
Huh. I think I just think of like an old guy sitting on. I'm thinking of like an old plantation owner sitting on a rocking chair in his front porch.
Yeah, milk is the official state beverage of 21 states.
Wow.
Florida obviously has orange juice.
I know that one.
Cranberry juice is in Massachusetts. Apple cider in New Hampshire. Tomato juice in Ohio. Water is Indiana's official state beverage. Indiana.
They say hydrated.
Looks like coffee is Washington's state of Kool-Aid, Nebraska's official.
I assume my guess is Kool-Aid was invented in Nebraska. But
Possibly.
We don't have to get into that.
Possibly.
We're not in Nebraska.
But yeah, it was just kind of lemonade is Arizona's. Let's see here. I don't see another lemonade anywhere else.
Huh.
Nope.
You ever had a Kool-Aid pickle?
I have. I did not love it.
I think maybe Shane brought those once.
He might have.
I think I may have had one once, and if so, it was through him. Doesn't sound very great.
Like, you have to like pickles, like eating, chomping into a big pickle, basically, for it to really do you anything. And
it's not you prefer it on a hamburger
I'm
as
like
opposed to
bread and butter pickles cut up. Like, the only whole pickles really I'll eat is like sweet gherkins.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the little guys.
Yeah. So, but yeah, lemonade. It's always a tasty treat. We got us a couple glasses here. Picked some up from. I did it a few weeks ago as well when we had a lemonade-based alcoholic drink. But I just did the same thing. I went to Raising Cane's and picked up a glass of lemonade because I said it then. I'll say it now. It's probably the best lemonade that you can get.
Yeah, without making it yourself, and you turned me onto it just those handful of weeks ago, and it's nice. It's not too sweet. That's the thing.
Yeah,
it's not too sweet, and it's not so tart that it stings your tongue. They got it figured out.
It's just it's a very refreshing glass.
Yeah, as opposed to Minute Maid, which like is just
sugar screaming at you.
Yeah, it's just like the Kool-Aid version of lemonade.
Yeah. But also something else that would happen right around the same time of Halftime Heat. Actually, it was right after the big game. Fox was airing the big game that year, so they have to have a big TV premiere after the game.
They always did that. I remember the King of the Hill one, and them being like, this show's not going to pan out. And then it ends up being like, I consider it a sitcom, but one of my favorite like top 5 sitcoms of all time. What was this one, Matt?
But this year's was Family Guy. And we were just referencing Kool-Aid, and that's literally the episode that airs is when they're having the jury or the court case or whatever, and they're like, oh no. Kool-Aid Man busts in, it's like, oh yeah. Still literally one of the funniest things, and probably the reason why I watched Family Guy for like forever.
Yeah, the thing with that show was that it did 2 seasons and then got canceled. So me and my friends like rewatched the first couple of seasons a bunch, and then it came back and it was a big deal because it luckily ended around the time that DVDs came back. So like everybody bought the DVDs and the sales were high enough that they like gave it another chance, and now who knows how many seasons of it are and how many things it spawned.
It's up to, good Lord. They just released a holiday special earlier this week that I ended up just watching as well because I was just like,
let's see.
We'll see if Family Guy is good at making fun of Hallmark and Lifetime movies. And after watching it, I kind of went, this is why I quit watching Family Guy.
Yeah, I think the thing with it was the first 2 seasons.
24 seasons.
Wow.
446 episodes.
Crazy. I like the first 2 seasons because they have a storyline. And then after the show came back, like it got further and further away from that, and like more just, it turns into just Robot Chicken.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but the reason that like the Robot Chicken Show works is that it's just like vignettes of like jokes. But if you're going to have characters and then it's going to be nothing but vignettes of jokes, then it kind of falls apart. But there's always at least a couple of good jokes in every episode of Family Guy, whether you enjoy the show or not. But yeah.
Because I know I watched at least through when Cleveland split off into his own show. Because I watched the Cleveland show.
I never saw that.
And to me, the Cleveland show was probably actually a better written show.
I think I liked American Dad a little bit more at the point that show was coming out, but I don't keep up with any of them. I just remember those first 2 seasons of Family Guy, watching them a whole bunch. I think it's the one where they get relocated to the South was the one that we replayed a lot. But yeah, it just kind of started as like, oh, The Simpsons, but like with like the weird, surreal, like almost like critic-esque jokes, but not necessarily focused on film.
Yeah.
And then it kind of seemed like it was just nothing but those jokes piled in. I don't know what it looks like now, but they must have been doing something right.
I mean, the animation style hasn't changed at all. It's still exactly the same. Peter's chin still looks like a little butt. Well, enough about Family Guy and the big game. Let's talk halftime heat. And like I said earlier, just covering the match. So let's get right into it. Our first match and only match. Mankind versus The Rock with Vince McMahon for the WWF Championship in an empty arena match.
It's a hard thing to do. Wrestling is pretty dependent on
the crowd.
On the crowd reacting. Yeah. So it's kind of a bold choice. But this is also the biggest the company's kind of ever been.
And Foley waits for his opponent as Shane McMahon and Kevin Kelly discuss the feud. When Mr. McMahon takes over the commentary for this match. And we should mention that like Kevin Kelly and Shane McMahon are at like the taping of Heat. Because they are the commentators for Heat.
Yeah.
And so they're making comments, but then it throws it to like they say is live. We're going to throw quotation marks around live. Yeah. And Mr. McMahon does the commentary from ringside, basically, with no one else around. And our 2 competitors begin trading right hands when Mankind nails a back elbow for a 2 count. A double arm DDT for a near fall, followed by putting Mr. Sacco on and shoving it down the throat of the champ.
Starting it off quick.
But Rocky escapes to the floor. So Foley hits a baseball slide and a swinging neckbreaker for a 2 count on the outside. And Mankind keeps up the attack by sending The Rock into the timekeeper's table, the announce booth, and the steel steps. Only for Rocky to reverse a whip, sending Foley through the barricade. And Rock works over Foley with strikes, tossing him into the empty seats for a near fall, before covering him with chairs and smashing the pile with a chair shot. And Rocky takes the headset to cut a promo, allowing Mankind to recover and reapplying Mr. Sacco. But The Rock breaks free with a mule kick low blow.
It's just perfect. The Rock tooting his own horn, and you just see Mick Foley walk up from behind him. Like, buddy, what are you wasting time for? Do you want this belt or not?
And Rocky heads up the bleachers, only for Foley to clotheslining from behind, leading to the 2 brawling up the stairs. And Rock continues up to the upper deck to get away from his opponent, grabbing a trash can to whack Foley with, before kicking him, causing Mankind to roll down the stairs. Rocky even dumps trash onto his opponent, followed by dragging Foley through some doors, when we cut to Shane and Kevin Kelly again reacting to the action. And we go back to live action, and the 2 men are now in a kitchen, where Rock hits Mankind across the back with a stick and a cotton candy holder, before putting Mr. Sacco and Foley headfirst into an oven, which included some great Foley work.
Yeah, a little sound effect sizzle.
Yeah.
I do love that Vince McMahon just sells the WWF to whoever might be watching, because like, oh, maybe my kids are forcing me to watch this or whatever. But the way he sells it is by calling it the WWF action adventure soap opera, and then like soap opera, Roadrunner, which he's just talking about the cartoon,
Mm-hmm.
One Life to Live. It's like Hollywood, Broadway, and all points in between. And then come check us out on Raw tomorrow night on USA. But it's like straight from the guys, straight from the owner's mouth, like a really wild pitch. I assume he wrote that because I don't know if anybody else would describe it exactly like that.
No.
Soap opera for sure.
Yes. It's the soap opera for guys.
Action, adventure, soap opera.
That's literally how I used to
I think that's how we
explain
all
it to people back in the day. It was like, women watch their soap operas for the stories. Literally, this is what men watch for it's their stories.
Yeah, absolutely. But the Roadrunner, the One Life to Live. Like, okay, but you could have stopped at the first two.
Mankind's thrown over a table and hit with a cooking sheet when Foley answers back with strikes, plates, and a bag of popcorn.
Oh, that must hurt.
They now make their way into catering, where Rocky eats some of that popcorn, complaining that it's too salty, followed by another trash can shot to the back of Mankind. And they start tossing food at each other when The Rock throws some hot sauce into the eyes of Foley, even though Rocky says it's mild. Mankind fights back to slam his opponent's head into the table, attempts a pile driver, but the Rocky counters into a back body drop over the food. And Rocky keeps up the attack with smashing a squash over the head of Foley, only for Mankind to respond with a low blow for a 2 count. And Rock hits his opponent with the punch bowl, dumps a drink onto him, and they head out the door, finding them making their way into an office.
Yeah, I like that it goes from kitchen to office. It's like, all right, guys, obvious cut. I was like, is this office potentially in Titan Tower? Kind of felt like it was, but I don't know.
No, I think it was at the arena.
Yeah, I mean, it makes the most sense, but an office is an office kind of just about anywhere you go.
And Foley's knocked into a chair, which falls backwards when the phone rings. So Rocky answers it even as he continues the punishment.
He's really fucking loving the bits.
Followed by choking Mankind with the cord. And Foley fights back with strikes as they head into the hallway, where The Rock is shoved into a door and dragging his opponent to the loading dock. And we go back to Shane and Kevin for more reactions when we return to our competitors knocking each other down with strikes. And Mankind locks on the mandible claw, causing Rocky to pass out. So Foley gets into a forklift.
Conveniently placed forklift.
To drop a pallet with kegs on top of it onto the champ's chest, with Mankind then climbing on top for the pin and the win.
And new. Before we get too far, we got to talk the POV shot.
Okay.
So Mankind gets in the forklift and then lowers the forklift, but they did a thing that we'll talk about it, but maybe the corniest thing you could possibly do is then have a POV shot from the bottom of the forklift that like zooms down on The Rock's face and he's going, "Oh," or whatever, and that's the Roadrunner. Yes. That was insane. Yes. I can't say I remembered it before the match started, but when the match was over, or when that moment happened, it really was like a lightning went off in my brain where I was like, damn. I do remember that, and I remember even seeing that at the time, or at least in the time between then and this rewatch, always just being like, why did you do that? It's a little too much in a match that does a lot already. But maybe one of the funniest things that I've ever seen in happen in the WWF is that camera choice.
Absolutely.
The sizzle, I get it. I'm not even mad at the forklift thing. I just think it's. He said they made. Vince always said the WWF made movies. We make movies.
That's right.
So, yeah, well, they sure did with that shot.
So I ask you, Michael, what are your overall thoughts of Halftime Heat?
I would say that it is very fun, and they did a great job considering there being no crowd. And there's some stuff in here. And it lacks a little bit of energy because of a lack of crowd, and some of the stuff they do that's just The Rock's going a little too heavy into bits, but they only come off cornier because there's no crowd reacting to it. But it ends with my guy winning the belt, and I was all in on Mick Foley. I like Steve Austin, but Mick Foley was my guy.
He's the everyman.
Yeah, exactly. When he won the belt the first time, never thought it was going to happen. And then them giving it to him during the Super Bowl, like back on, like in between for halftime heat. It's like, oh, great. They're doing the right thing, and it's a thing that they probably haven't done in forever, where it's like everybody likes this guy. We can always lean on him to hold the belt because he'll always be compelling and he'll always put on a show, but he's never going to be The Rock or Stone Cold Steve Austin, but he's also never going to give up, even though he said I quit a couple weeks ago. But yeah, it's just nice to see some faith in the hardworking man.
So I think this is the perfect example of sports entertainment.
Yeah, that's a very good way to put it.
And the WWF knew that they were going to have millions and millions
and millions
of people watching. And I would say I would show this match to anyone as a entry point into wrestling.
To a degree, but like WWF doesn't have this kind of flavor or fun. Like, it's not as free and breezy as this feels. So somebody might be really disappointed with the current product.
But I mean, if they don't enjoy this,
they're not going to probably.
Then they're just probably not going to enjoy wrestling at all.
Not North American wrestling.
Yeah. And so for that reason alone, I'm throwing it on a short list.
Yeah, I agree. There's things about it that I like. You heard my slight criticisms, and I think they're valid.
Yeah.
But they don't like take away from it. That's me with a microscope.
Goofiness is the stuff that like will help catch the non-wrestling fan.
The thing that'll make your dad
laugh. Because it's not so goofy that you roll your eyes at.
Yeah.
It's just goofy enough that you probably are going to laugh at it.
And they get pretty violent, not as violent as Mick Foley with his hands handcuffed to behind his back and bleeding from the forehead while getting hit with a chair profusely. It's not that kind of violent, but it's still violent enough that it might get a good chuckle out of your pops or other family members when you force them to turn it over, and they're like, "Well, we don't care about Gloria Estefan. We'll let the kid watch this."
I'll give everyone a little behind the scenes for this episode. There was serious thought that we weren't going to be able to get together and record this episode together. We had some vacations, car troubles. Life happens, and like I recorded the last 2 weeks by myself, and if I had to record this one by myself,
it would have been no fun for you.
I was actually going to have my wife join me.
That would have been fun, honestly.
And like she knows wrestling enough.
Married to you long enough to know and have seen a little bit of wrestling.
She's not like oblivious to it.
She went to All In with you.
Yeah, she went to All In with me.
Yeah.
But I knew that she would have fun at least watching this match.
Yeah, and she of any of the wrestlers that exist, she knows The Rock. She knows Mankind. She knows Mankind. She knows Stone Cold, who's not here, who. Something that Vince McMahon said on commentary that Stone Cold Steve Austin was supposed to be here, but he was too chicken shit. I was like, oh yeah, obviously it's just Vince McMahon being the incredible heel that he is. But and she knows Vince McMahon, so. But you have the of the four major characters that everybody knows from the WWF. Yeah. There's 3 of them here.
Yep. So I was just like, I mean, obviously I'm glad we're getting to record this.
Absolutely, yeah.
2/3 of us.
I would have been bummed if I didn't get to talk about this one. Even though it's short and there's not a whole lot to say about it, outside of that, it's just a perfect trailer for
what you're going to get on Raw tomorrow night.
Exactly, and it speaks to the strength of these guys that they didn't need to use Austin here. Mm-hmm. Because we'll, in the coming weeks, be able to talk about what this leads up to. And that's how, also shows the strength of the WWF, that the guy that's selling the most merch and bringing the most eyes isn't, necessary to get this huge of a rating in between the Super Bowl. I wonder what the Puppy Bowl got that year. I don't know if they were doing it at the time, but
with only one match, we're not going to smark it up this week.
No, we kind of just did that.
Yeah. So instead,
for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
turn the lights off, turn the projector on, because we're ready to rumble. And this week we're covering from 9 to 9.
Not 9 to 5?
No.
I've seen that one.
There's a few more memories in that one.
Yeah, definitely.
This movie was released on December 21st, 1936, directed by Edgar G. Ulmer and written by him as well, along with his wife Shirley Ulmer and Ken Duncan. It stars Ruth Roland, Roland Drew, Doris Covert, and Ken Duncan.
Oh, wow.
And the plot of this movie is it's a mystery about murder, blackmail, and stolen jewels. Ooh. You're intrigued, right?
Yeah, sounds all right.
Trivia for this movie is this is actually Ruth Roland's final film.
So I assume she's an older lady?
Not really. She was, probably in Hollywood at that time.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe she was an older lady.
That's a good point. Yeah, we don't get there probably wasn't a whole lot of Judi Denches in 1930s.
Correct.
Also, there was a film hadn't really existed long enough there to be Judi Denches.
Some reviews and ratings of this movie. IMDb gives it a 3.8, while on Letterboxd it's at a 2.0. So we're not looking good, guys. And I honestly could not find any reviews from back in the 30s. So I found one. And I literally couldn't find any critic reviews, really.
Yeah. I think people just went to the movies back then, and it was just a thing you did because they didn't have televisions. So, or if they did, they weren't playing movies on them. So people just went to the movies, and that was good enough.
So I pulled a review from IMDb, a user, Larry41 on eBay-2.
Oh, wow.
Shout out to you, Larry. And this is from 2005. His review was, every director intends to make a good film, but sometimes budget, script, and casting can fight against him.
Oh, you mean everything?
And a confusing mess, and a plot is overly contrived, and the performances are amateurish.
All right, Larry, let's see what you got. I'm going to put the camera in your face.
My review. Let's start with the positive. Ruth Roland has fun delivering her performance. Has fun. Now for the negatives. Everything else.
I guess Larry was kind of right.
Most high school musicals would have had better performances. The editing is horrible, and the plot is contrived, with an ending that will surprise you, just because it doesn't make any sense. And the wrestler of this film is George Temple, who ends up being the boyfriend to one of the conspirators. His main scene sees him being interviewed by the police.
I'm not familiar with George Temple.
Me neither. I couldn't even find anything significant about his wrestling career.
Not to pull back the curtain, but in the notes that you gave me, it said Shirley Temple's brother, or was that a joke you wrote?
No, that is correct.
It's actually her brother?
Yeah.
You would think that she made enough money he wouldn't have to wrestle. But I mean, you know, who wants their little sister's money?
Exactly. But I gave this movie a 1.0.
Oof.
And a wrestler performance of 1.0.
He was that bad.
Because he was bad.
And he's one of the few guys that you've seen that actually had a scene where he had to
Yeah, he had lines, and it was just
it was always him talking to the police.
It was like, I don't know my lines, so I'm going to look over here and hopefully I remember my lines while I'm...
You could see him thinking, the wheels turning.
Yeah. So, if for some reason you love horrible movies...
From 1930s.
The only way I could find this film there is a box set of Edgar G. Ulmer films.
Did he make any good films?
Not that I know of.
Is he famous like for making bad films?
Yes.
Okay, so he's kind of like an Ed Wood, but minus the sci-fi thing. Except for his aren't so bad that Tim Burton makes a movie about you.
Yeah. But that's the only way that I could find to watch this movie, so you guys are in luck that I love you so much because I bought a box set of Edgar G. Ulmer
that's crazy.
films.
If there was podcast money, which we don't make, there's no ads, we don't have a Patreon, we do it for the love of the game, I would suggest that you took some out of the mutual bank account to cover the box set. But hey, maybe you can flip it on eBay.
I might be able to. I mean, Larry obviously was from eBay. He's a seller on eBay. Maybe I should contact him and see if he can sell it for me.
Yeah, maybe.
Next week, St. Valentine's Day Massacre in your house.
Yeah, I remember this one. I never got any of the pay-per-views, but I do remember this being one that maybe I rented on VHS or somehow I saw at least a couple times in my life.
I mean, I hear it's a pretty big show.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably why.
Music from this week's show is the theme from Sunday Night Heat, and Mankind won our main event, so we play Wreck by Jim Johnston. If you like this episode or any of our other ones, please go out there and rate and review us on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you find your podcasts at. Do as Michael says.
5 stars or no stars. Don't do like Matt did with, what was this movie called?
From 9 to 9.
From 9 to 9. Don't 9 to 9 us. 5 to 5 us.
That's right. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, make sure you send those to our email at WrestlingHistoryX@gmail.com. You can also send recipes. Hopefully Shane's back soon.
You think Shane would have brought popcorn?
I don't know. I actually thought about asking him earlier, like, what was he going to bring?
Yeah.
But next week, we're going to Memphis. So if you know anything from Memphis that sounds good, hit us up. Let us know. I feel like we'll go to Memphis a few times. So even if we don't use it in the future. Possibly.
Absolutely. Like I said earlier, we're mostly hanging out in the lower 48.
That's right. And you can also send any of that stuff to us on X at WrestlingHistoX. That's Wrestling HISTOX. We'll talk to you next week.